Very good afternoon to all our viewers. You're tuned on to Lunchtime Prime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Zola Otskun. Let's start off with a look at the headlines first.
Parliament proceedings adjourned for 10 minutes during debate on tax regulations. Gazette notification containing control prices of rice published by the government. Raids underway in search of persons who violate the control prices. Jeff Sessions voted in as next Attorney General of the United States. Lasith Malinga returns to the Sri Lankan squad.
Let's now start off with the stories in detail. On to a story that made it the headline this afternoon. Now, the Gazette notification containing the control prices of rice has been published by the government. Accordingly, the price of locally manufactured and imported samba has been set at 80 rupees per kilogram. Meanwhile, the maximum retail price of a kilogram of Nadu has been set at 72 rupees, while a kilogram of kaklu will have to be sold at 70 rupees. The Consumer Affairs Authority says that no producer, importer, distributor or trader should trade rice, produce rice or sell or exhibit rice for sale above the stipulated prices. Meanwhile, the Essential Food Commodities Importers and Traders Association say that rice will be released to the market under the stipulated prices without a shortage from next week. And on to some tragic news this afternoon. Now, 2 people have been killed in a motor accident which took place in the Narangaswav area in the Nochiagama Thamuthegama main road. Police said that the accident was a result of a motorcycle veering off the road and crashing into a tree after the rider had lost control of the vehicle. And the bodies of the victims, aged 44 and 42, have been placed at the Nochiagama Regional Hospital and the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital. The Nochiagama police are conducting further investigation into the incident. On to more news this afternoon. Now, private bus owners in the northern province have launched a strike action. The private bus owners say that the strike action has been launched in protest against an incident where a statue of North Central Provincial Minister of Transport, Danishwaran, was set ablaze by SLTB bus owners. According to a correspondent, private buses have not been operating from the Vavuniya town since this morning, causing severe inconvenience to bus commuters in the area. Now, residents of Manikavatta in Avisavela are facing many health-related difficulties owing to waste not being disposed in a proper manner. The housing scheme in Manikavatta, which was declared open in the year 2000, consists of 100 houses. Both the wastewater and sewage line of houses in the scheme flows into a common tank. However, since of late, a leakage in the line has caused the wastewater to flow into a canal close to the housing scheme. This has caused a bad odor in the vicinity. 51 houses in the housing scheme belong to the Housing Development Authority, while the remaining 48 houses are owned by a private banking institution. Residents charge that although the existing situation has been brought to the attention of both institutions, no measures have been taken to resolve the issue. Well, now, locals of Thanamal village staged a demonstration yesterday in protest against a former Pradeshya Sabha member who handed out an 8-acre plot of land in the Hambegamu settlement area to his loyalists and those in other villages. The locals say that while 8 acres of land have been handed out to 35 persons under the guise that a model village is to be constructed, the foundation stone for this model village is to be laid on the 11th of this month. The demonstrators add that this land has been allocated for the construction of government buildings. Though there is a Hambegamu General Hospital, it has not been developed. All the villagers here protected like their own hearts and souls. This land has been given to their own loyalists without giving any regard to the fact that we are poor families living under much hardship. The blame is thrown onto us when we try to ask about this. These have been given to the people who are already stable with paddy lands and vehicles. During the demonstration, the locals contacted the Land Commissioner for the Northern Province, Chatura Samarasekara, via telephone.
ඒකන්තුමගෙන් කෝල් එකක් අරගෙන ආවම පස්සේ එතුමා දන්නෙත් නැහැ කියලා කිව්වා මේ ඉඩම් ටික සම්පූර්ණ කොටු කොල්ල ගම්මානයක් ගහන්න යනවා ඊට පස්සේ මේ ගම්මානේ කට්ටිය හම්බෙගමේ එදා ඉඳලා ඉන්න කට්ටිය මේ අලි ඉන්න පැති වලට ගිහිල්ලා දරු පැටව එක ඉතා අන්ත අසරණම මේ අලින්ගෙන් බැට කකා උන් ජීවත් වෙනවා මේ ගමේ කට්ටියටත් නැතුව පිටස්තර අයත් ගෙනල්ලා මේ රජයේ ඉඩම් ටික මේ බෙදන්න හදනවා
නෑ මේ මෙහෙමයි මට දැන් කවුද අපේ මේ ගලකමාරක් මන්ත්‍රීතුමා කතා කරා
ඔව් සර්
ඊට පස්සේ මම මේ ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම්තුමාගෙන් අහුවා ඕක
ඔව් සර්
දැන් ඔය කියපු විදිහට නම් දැන් ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම්තුමා අවසර දීලත් නෑ අපෙන් අවසරයක් කරගෙනත් නෑ
ඔව් සර්
අරද ඒ කියන්නේ ඉඩම් කච්චේරි මගින් අපි ඉඩම් ලබා දෙන්නේ
ඔව් සර්
එහෙනම් මොකද අවසරයක් අනුමැතියක් ලබා දීලා නෑ ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම්තුමා නම් කියපු විදිහට මම හිතනවා දේශපාලන මැදිහත් මගින් කරන දෙයක් අපෙන් තාම අනුමැතියක් මොකුත් නම් වෙලා නෑ නේද
A correspondent said that following the telephone call, the locals entered bare land in the area and divided plots of land among each other in a bid to claim their own land. Now, several thefts were reported and these images have been captured on CCTV cameras. Let's take a look.
Police said the 3 suspects were arrested after examining the CCTV footage from the store. They added that the suspects are involved with several other similar incidents and that they were under the influence of narcotic substances. The suspects are residents of the Ratnapura area. Meanwhile, 2 suspects were arrested by the Anamadua police yesterday over the robbery of jewellery in the Anamadua area last month. Police said the suspects were in possession of jewellery worth 3.5 million rupees. The suspects were produced before the Anamadua Magistrates Court, where they were remanded until the 20th of this month. The robbery was also recorded on CCTV cameras.
Now, in news from Parliament this afternoon, Speaker Karuja Surya adjourned Parliament for almost 10 minutes owing to a tense situation.
Sir, මේ ගරු සභාවේ අපිට
An agenda is created for the activities of this house in order to complete them on a day-to-day basis. If something in the agenda is taken up the next day, then the Speaker should inform the House in this regard, hold the party leaders meeting, obtain a date and proceed accordingly. This was not passed yesterday. Then how is he continuing to work? If a case is filed against him, then how can the court act? This is a legislature. We are the lawmakers. We cannot act like tea makers.
නීති හදන තැනනේ ලෝ මේකර්ස්ලානේ ටී මේකර්ස්ලා වගේ වැඩ කරලා හරියනවද ඉතින් කවුද අද ඕගොල්ලෝනේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට
Very well. Order please. Order please. අද මේක න්‍යාය පත්‍රය
This has been included in today's agenda.
අද න්‍යාය පත්‍රයේ මේක ඇතුළත් කරලා තියෙනවා. අද න්‍යාය පත්‍රය ඇතුළත් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඔව් 1 2 3 ගමන් වෙන් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා නවත කරන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. වරද
I accepted that this was a shortcoming.
පනත ඊයේ
According to the agenda, the bill was to be passed yesterday, but according to the leader of the House, it was not presented.
ඉතින් ඔහම ඉන්නකෝ
මම පිළිතුරු දෙන්න හරි.
කරුමායම් මත ඇමතිතුමනි පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න ඉවසන්න ඔබතුමා ඉවසනවා නම් හුඟක් දේවල් ඔබට
ඔබතුමා කියන්න දැන්
ඉවසිය නැති එකේ අඩුපාඩු
හොඳයි කතා කරන්න
ඔව් ඔබතුමා මම ගරු කතානායකතුමනි
Honorable Speaker, the Minister and all the speakers spoke on this, as if it was already presented. They did not on any occasion reveal to the House that it was not presented. You came to the chamber this morning and you informed us that a shortcoming has taken place.
මේ අඩුපාඩුවක් සිදු වී තිබෙනවා. දැන් ඒක it's an accepted fact. දැන් මොකද කරලා යුත්තේ?
We are presenting our views on what we should do next. You may say this today, but it cannot be done this way.
සභානායකතුමා කිව්වට අද මේක ප්‍රකාශ කරලා සම්මත කරනවා කියලා එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. එහෙම රිවර්ස් කරන්න බෑ. Minutes of the parliament cannot be reversed. කතානායකතුමනි බොහෝ අවස්ථාවන්වල
Mr. Speaker, on numerous occasions, if we can't hold a vote on the day of the debate, we hold it the next day.
දෙයක් ගැටුවොත් පහුවදා ඡන්දය ගන්නවා.
හරි.
ඒක මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ
හොඳයි. හරි.
bloody fool.
Gary, let me speak. Let me speak. Order please. Let me speak.
කතානායකතුමනි
හරි.
මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව තුළ බොහෝ අවස්ථාවල සමහර පනත් අවසානයේදී ඡන්දයක් ගන්නතෝ බහුදා ඡන්ද ගන්නවා. ඉතින් එහෙම දෙයක් තමයි ඇති උනේ. එහෙම දෙයක් තමයි ඇති උනේ.
හොඳයි. මෙම කරුණා ඊයේ රාත්‍රියේ මම
I got to know of this last night. I was going to hold a meeting and present this. According to my research, this has been done in the past on several occasions. But in order for us to do it by the book, I am suspending proceedings for 10 minutes. Let's convene the party leaders and reach a decision.
An event to enroll grade 1 students to the Reggie Reynolds School in Minuwangoda was held today.
Former parliamentarian and organizer for the Minuwangoda electorate, Duan Ranatunga, attended the event as the chief guest.
The process of starting the secondary school from grade 6 to 13 at Reggie Ranatunga College was undertaken amidst many obstacles. Especially with the change in government, many tried to prevent the second phase from getting underway. We must extend our gratitude to His Excellency the President Maithripala Sirisena, because if not for him, we wouldn't have been able to open the school. There are attempts to take revenge from the children following the change in government. We will not leave room for that to happen. Minister Arjun Ranatunga has also promised me that the President and the Prime Minister would intervene to provide required funds for the progress of the school. Those who swindle the country's money are attempting to sabotage the progress of the school, particularly a party called the Joint Opposition, which has been created. The people of this country have realized what they are doing.
Well, now that was an event to enroll grade 1 students to the Reggie Ranatunga College in Minuwangoda, which was held yesterday. With that, we move on to some more news. Now, a fire had erupted at the Nivitigala Kiribadgala Reserve in Ratnapura. Police said that fire, which broke out last morning, is yet to be doused and has destroyed over 10 acres of reserve thus far. Firefighters are engaged and the blaze has erupted at a central point of the reserve. However, no casualties have been reported. A skills development and vocational training centre was opened in Batiklo in the Eastern Province, which was presided over by the Australian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka yesterday.
The project, which is being funded by AusAid, was declared open under the auspices of Australian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka Bryce Hutchison and Minister of Skills Development and Vocational Training Mahinda Samanasinghe.
Why Australia? Why are we doing this here? Well, we are a long-standing friend and partner of Sri Lanka, as I said, and we're very proud of that. But we're also pretty good at tourism. Tourism is in fact one of Australia's major industries, one of our major export earners. We think we do it pretty well. In fact, we share the same two top source markets as does Sri Lanka.
The Eastern Province is the rice bowl of the country, as we always say, and this is the peace dividend that the whether it be Tamils, whether it be Sinhalese, whether it be Muslims are enjoying as a result of the end of the conflict. This initiative taken by the Australian government, the people of Australia, has been influenced by this long-standing special bilateral relationship that exists between Sri Lanka and Australia.
As in the past, there were so many projects have been started, but when you look at the output, at the end there was hardly anything. That I want you to focus on few areas where that the results will be at least shown at the end. And another area where we could maybe focus on encouraging the organic agriculture.
A Chinese cultural festival to mark the Chinese New Year was held at the Independence Arcade in Colombo last evening.
The event was organized for the first time in Sri Lanka to celebrate 60 years of diplomatic relations between Sri Lanka and China. Notably, the two nations also celebrated the 65th year in signing the Rice and Rubber Pact between China and Sri Lanka. The event was graced by the Speaker of Parliament Kadhu Jayasuriya, Minister Partali Champika Ranawaka and Chinese Ambassador to Sri Lanka Yi Jiangliang.
So there's another incident there we celebrate. That was 65 years of the signing of the Rubber Rice Agreement. But that was an agreement that was beneficial to Sri Lanka. Let me say that this has been a friendship agreement. The Chinese gave us rice at a discounted price to the world market, and the Chinese purchase our rubber at a premium price to the world market. On both sides, Sri Lanka benefited. This is how I was able to be a friend to China since 1965. And I admire the Chinese quality, I admire the Chinese friendship. And as I said before, on every occasion, China has been close to us.
Sri Lanka is a great country with great people, great culture, and great history. So we respect each other, we help each other in the past, today, and in the future. As ambassador to Sri Lanka, I assure you, I promise, I will do my best to promote our relations, politics, diplomatic, military, economic, trade, particularly education, science, and people to people.
This is incidentally the first Chinese Lantern Festival held in Sri Lanka and is organized by the Chinese Embassy together with the Ministry of Megapolis and Western Development and the Chinese Cultural Centre in Sri Lanka.
In sports, it's cricket now. Sri Lankan paceman Lasith Malinga is set to make his long-awaited return to international cricket in the T20 series against Australia, as he was named in the 15-man squad for the 3-match T20 international series today. Malinga last played international cricket more than 12 months ago, taking 4 for 26 against the UAE in an Asia Cup T20 match before again succumbing to injury. Upul Tharanga will lead the Sri Lankan contingent in the absence of the injured Angelo Matthews. Opener Dilshan Munawira has also been included to the squad, while all-rounder Milinda Srivardhana, Chamra Kapagedra, Isrodana and Dasan Chanaka are among the other inclusions. The 2020 series will begin from the 17th of February at Melbourne, followed by the second game at Geelong on the 19th of February and the final game at Adelaide on the 22nd of February.